Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Loshak. He's Mike Brenner. We are the Odds Couple, and this is the NBA Odds Couple show for Saturday, April 15th for the games, the NBA games, playoff game Saturday, April 15th. We're doing this on Friday, April 14th.
This is the beginning, Pistol.
Yep, here we go.
We're doing a separate record for the playoffs. We're going to show our viewers how we can, really thrive at this opportunity at playoffs. We're going to be doing that as well.
All right. Hopefully, we'll be able to. I'll be able to atone somewhat for my horrific regular season record. And we've got Jordan Sharp, SBR contributor, who's also going to give us some thoughts on these 4 Saturday games. Jordan Sharp, how you doing?
Good, guys. Ready to get these playoffs started. I've been ready for playoff action for about a month now, so I'm excited it's finally here.
All right, so let's dig right into the first game. The big question, the biggest question I think of the entire playoffs is what's up with Cleveland? How good or not good are they? How elite or non-elite are they? They're given 8.5 points in Game 1 to Indiana, and the total is about 212. Let's just go to Jordan Sharp. Jordan Sharp, do you think that Cleveland is significantly overvalued and overrated here, or do you think that the last 20 or 30 games of the regular season we can just throw out, and they're going to seem like a different team here in Game 1?
I definitely don't think we can throw out the final 30 games of the regular season. I do think they are maybe slightly overvalued here, but not enough to where I'm taking points with the Pacers here in Game 1. We've seen it from LeBron time and again where he can turn it on and off. Whether or not the team can do that, I think, is a bigger question. I think I have more thoughts on Cleveland losing potentially in the later rounds than this first one here, but against the spread here for Game 1, I'm not betting against them for sure. A better play might be the under, though. I was kind of going to see what you guys have to think about that one here at 212.5.
That's what I was going to say. I already bet the under. I bet the first half under, and I will give at least the first half under as an official play here, under 109 minus 110. I'm also leaning on the full game under as well. Mike Brenner, do you have a pick on this game?
Yeah, I do. I actually do. I'm going to be pulling the trigger on the first half minus 5. I believe that's still available for Cleveland. The reason being, at home this year, they covered both first halves against Indiana. Now, the last time they faced each other, Paul George had a huge game. I guarantee they make some type of defensive adjustment there to shut him down. I just think because of the inconsistency in the last 30 games, this is the year that if there were anybody in the East that could, man up and challenge this team, this would be the year to do it. But I don't see Boston doing that. I don't see Washington, they're banged up, doing that. And I damn sure don't see Atlanta doing that. I think Cleveland is absolutely going to figure out a way to get through this. I don't think they're going to go all the way and cash that ticket for the championship. But, Pete, I think they get by Indiana. They know how to play this team. And maybe the best thing that happened to them was that inconsistency, because you might see them come out on fire, and this game might be an absolute blowout. I'm going to take the first half, and then I want to take the third quarter. All right. And I'll get the market opener.
Yeah, the first half will give you minus 5, minus 105. And for the market opener, we'll give for the third quarter, we'll give you the market opener.
Absolutely.
Jordan Sharp, after the All-Star break, Cleveland was the second worst team in terms of points allowed per possession in the entire NBA. Second worst only to the LA Lakers. Again, I'm leaning under on the full game as well. Yeah. Do you think that they're going to be able to fix that at least to some extent here in the playoffs? Or do you think that's a fundamental problem that's going to continue in the series?
I think it's something they can at least try to correct and get a little bit better at. I don't think they're going to completely solve their defensive issues. LeBron James has just been playing so many minutes, and when he's also your best defender and your best offensive player, it gets to the point where the minutes, I think, and the mileage really catch up to him at this time of year. At times, he was able to get a little bit of rest at the end of the season. Obviously, they knew they had to give him that. I'm still thinking, though, that for this, at least Game 1, I still think the under is the play here, because I'm with you, Pete. That was my play as well on his one at 212.5, just simply because I think the afternoon start time also will affect this game. Usually afternoon start times in the NBA, especially the first game of the playoffs, first game, national television. Both teams going to have plenty of adrenaline. These shots are probably going to be going long a little bit in the first quarter as these guys work their way into the game. So I could see kind of a lower scoring start to this one, lead up to still the under being a casher. But I agree with you. I think as we go forward in this series specifically, the scores might start to get a little higher, as we've seen at times here from these two this season.
I'd like to piggyback on that, because that makes sense. And the fact that LeBron he played a ton of minutes before that last game. All right, they had a couple days to rest. I think it could be a sluggish start, and I like that. What was the total again?
212.5 under minus 110, and I'm going to add that one as well.
Pull that
and
trigger.
I'm also going to add the Cleveland team total under 110 minus 107. So it's 3 picks for me. First half under minus 109. First half under 109. Full game under 212.5, and Cleveland team total under 110 minus 107. And Mike Brenner, you're going to be on Cleveland first half and the third quarter.
Absolutely, and great breakdown with that, Jordan. All right, what you got there, insight-wise.
Okay, now let's move on to another interesting matchup: Memphis and San Antonio. Of course, Memphis got to be playing with some kind of revenge from last year. San Antonio, though, the machine that they always are, given 9 or 9.5. And I also jumped on the under on this one when it opened at about 193. It's now down to 190.5 or 190.
Ooh, you beat that one.
Yeah, Jordan Sharp, do you think that Memphis is going to come within single digits here and maybe get a cover in the first game?
I'm laying off the spread on this one. I think you're exactly right. This is the type of series that could go either way at the beginning, but I also think that the Spurs are just going to dominate throughout. They last year, obviously, the Grizzlies were just completely banged up. I don't think they had Gasol or Conley and most of that playoff battle, and they got swept, I think, by an average of about 22 points a game. But they also got swept a few years before that in the Western Conference Finals against the Spurs when they were healthy. Obviously, the Spurs have gotten a lot better since then. We're kind of seeing a similar Grizzlies roster, maybe even a depleted one since those years past. In this one, I could see this first game going either way, but I also cannot see the Memphis Grizzlies winning more than one game in this series, if not any games at all. So yeah, I think I'm with you. I like the under here. I think the best play on this one for me is a teaser. I like teasing up that total to 195, betting the under and go with Spurs minus 4. I think you can get minus 4 off a 5-point teaser. So it's kind of where I'm leaning on this one. I think the 190.5 line's getting to be a little bit too low for me, but yeah, I agree. This series I think has a lot of value both in the series props and the game odds if you can get the right odds like you did when they opened.
Yeah, all right. I did see some advanced metrics here that have the Spurs as having almost a 20% chance of winning the national championship. The Spurs are maybe a little bit undervalued on these advanced metrics that I have seen. So I'm not sure what to think about this one. Mike Brenner, you have a pick on that one.
Yeah, this, again, I've said this in several videos all year long. As a matter of fact, this is a whole different San Antonio Spurs team besides the coach. And, of course, you got Ginobili and you got Parker getting older. But, Kawhi Leonard is definitely the leader. But they are not getting out of LaMarcus Aldridge what they signed up for, and that was locker room leadership. They don't have that. This is where they miss Tim Duncan, and that's why you haven't seen this team cover a bunch of double-digit spreads this year. I don't think they're going to blow them out by 17 or 20. They may, but Memphis also, you got to understand, this is a new coach coming into the playoffs for the first time. They're supposedly healthy. I don't think they're going to win, but like Jordan said, maybe one game. ATS-wise, I can't figure this one out. I'm as far away from it as I can be, but I do like what y'all jumped on with that under. And Pete, obviously, you beat the move from 193 to 190.5. So I don't know. I'm going to wait and see what happens. What was the team total for Memphis in this?
For Memphis, the team total would be 92, or actually, about 92. See, heavily juiced to the under, though. So,
wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm off.
All right, and then we have Milwaukee at Toronto. Jordan Sharp, do you think that Milwaukee is good? They're playing. I feel like they're going into the playoffs with nothing to lose, nothing to prove. They just want to. They know that they're expected to have an early exit, and I'm thinking that they might give Toronto a kind of a tough challenge here. What do you think?
This is a really tough one for me because I love both of these teams this year. I think that the Raptors, if they had Jabari Parker, I'd be picking them to upset the Raptors in this series. But I think without him, the Raptors with those midseason moves to get P.J. Tucker and Serge Ibaka, that improves their defense enough. They finished the year top 10 in both offensive and defensive efficiency, which not a lot of teams do. I think the Warriors, Spurs, and I don't think the Cavs finished there because of how bad they were defensively over the last half. That's a dangerous, I think, very, very balanced team for this Bucks squad. Even if Giannis Antetokounmpo goes for like 45 points a game, I still think the Raptors can win this series pretty easily. And I also think that even though I think I'm laying off the spread on this one entirely, this series I think will be pretty short, comparable to what I think some people are projecting to go 7 games. I think there's some value in that, but there's also a lot of value in saying the Raptors are going to win this in 5, and the Bucks aren't going to win more than one game too. So I think for the game, I think specifically of game 1, I'm laying off of it, but for the series, you can check out my series prop article on that. There's a teaser for that later on today to check out my thoughts on that.
All right, nice. And Mike Brenner, you going to have a pick on that one?
No, I'm not. This is one of them games, and I really like what Jordan said. Had Jabari Parker been healthy and playing, and they gelled together with the Greek Freak, this would be a real dangerous team. They're a step away. They're another player away. John Henson's coming off a thumb injury. That's going to play a role. But the thing is, the defensive alteration that Toronto made with Ibaka and P.J. Tucker, I mean, they are now almost an elite defense. Bottom line, I've looked at the numbers. Can they carry that momentum when they do go to Milwaukee to play? I don't know. But I'm staying off of this one, and I wouldn't be surprised if Toronto wins in 6, maybe 5, maybe 5.
All right, and then the other last game on the Saturday card, Utah, the Clippers. Mike Brenner, you touching this one? I know you're vaguely high on the Clippers this year in the playoffs, right?
I love it, buddy. I'm just going to tell you right now, they know how to play this team, and I know, and you know what's really cool? Jordan is a big Rudy Gobert fan. He knows a lot. He's got a good read on them, but I just think the way that the Clippers have come together and the way that the season ended with Blake Griffin going on a tear percentage-wise with his shooting, I think this is a very, very dangerous team. Nobody's even talking about them whatsoever. I think the same way they pretty much manhandle this Utah team, I think they're going to do it easily and often. I've got them on the first half and the full game here. I don't even think it's going to be close going down to the end. And I love Hayward. I love Gobert, but Favors is old. He's coming back off an injury, and outside of that, you've got nothing but Hood and Exum. These guys stay injured more than they're healthy. I think L.A., especially at home, gets it done, and I love this first game on the half and the full game.
So full game -5, -110. That's at the Chris books, and the first half 2.5 -215.
I love it.
Jordan Sharp, what do you think about that?
I am going to be team fade Mike Brenner in this series.
Head to head, baby. I love it. I love it.
This is going to get dangerous, folks, because it's like I feel the same way about this series as I do about the Bucks and Raptors. I like both teams a lot, but one of them's got to lose. And, you know, even with the lack of home court advantage, if Utah is able to steal this first game, which, I mean, I think is extremely possible, gives them a much better chance to win and flips the odds in their favor with just one win here in Los Angeles, which I think they're extremely capable of doing. I think it could be game 1, but I could also see what Mike's talking about. Utah could easily win this first game, and the LA goes on to win the series in 5 or 6 games. Like, you know, that could just wake them up if they lose in this game here tonight. So I think for this one, I got to go Utah plus 5.5. I think they're going to come away with a straight up win here in this one. I'm interested in the money line, but I just think the Clippers are just a little bit too dysfunctional right now. They were playing well towards the end of the season. You're right, Utah's got some injury issues, but they've got most of those guys back for now. I think they're the deeper team. I think they're the better outside shooting team. They're the better defensive team. I could see Utah winning this game and winning this series, Mike. I understand where you're coming from, but I think Utah's got it here plus 5.5.
All right, you want to hit back?
Well, again, you know, hey, I respect any opinion, and especially Jordan's. I just think coaching's going to play into it also. Quinn Snyder's nowhere near the coach Doc Rivers. He's a great coach, very good coach, but I read an article, and I've been respecting the fact that they are absolutely looking out and know that Gordon Hayward's going to be dangerous, and Gobert's going to get his rebounds because he's very, very good at not fouling out. I think the factor here is going to be J.J. Redick, and also I really think Blake Griffin is absolutely going to dominate. I look for Chris Paul to be free more than he would be on any other occasion. I think that Utah is still a player and some healthy players away from being a factor. I like it. I think Clippers get this first game easily, just the same way they manhandled them all year.
All right, head-to-head, Jordan Sharp, what do you think?
I think Mike has a great point, and that's why I'm a little bit torn on this series. But if Blake Griffin's the best player on the court, the Clippers are going to win this series really easily. If he fades away and is limited by defense, maybe they switch Gobert onto him at times, then you're going to see the issues that the Clippers have when they can't get offense and 25 points per game from Blake Griffin. But also, if you're looking at the series props odd, which once again, tease that article here later out, you can check that out after you're done checking out this video. But this series of all the series in the first round has the best possibility of going 7 games. Do you guys disagree with that?
I haven't thought about which one. I haven't looked at which.
I just think because of the unhealthiness, because, you know, bottom line, Utah is not 100% healthy. I think it's going to go 6 at the very most. I like it. I like you Clippers getting this thing done.
Yeah, I could
Clippers
see the OKC Houston series going 7, Atlanta Washington going 7, Chicago Boston going 7. So I don't know.
God, I love this.
All right, let's review our picks. I'm just having 3 picks on the Saturday game. I'm taking the under in Indiana Cleveland, the first half under, and the Cleveland team total under. That's it for me. Just 3 picks. Mike Brenner, what are you going to have for Saturday?
I'm going with Cleveland first half -5 and the third quarter with the market opener, and also Clippers on the first half -2.5 and the full game -5 going up against my friend Jordan Sharp for a head-to-head, baby.
All right, Jordan Sharp, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thanks, guys.
Well, this episode of The Odds Couple is over. But if you give us a like and click SBR's logo at the bottom of the screen to subscribe, then you'll get all the upcoming videos as soon as they come out. And don't forget to take advantage of our website. There's free picks, live betting lines, and sportsbook reviews and ratings guides, and a whole lot more. Check it out now.